Daniel still family ties. He took a shower, then got dressed, smoothed over the covers on the bed, grabbed his coat, and ran down the stairs of her foul-smelling building. He didn't even care. He was almost late to her class and was the last person in as he hurried to his seat. And he found himself staring at her during the lecture, remembering the night before. She was wearing the same pink sweater she had worn the previous night, and she turned several times to look at him with a glance that flicked over him and ripped right through his soul. He had an erection all through her class and waited for it to calm down before he got up to leave. When class ended, she walked over to him with a smile and looked down at him. He could feel everything tighten when she spoke. They were the only ones left in the classroom, and for a crazy moment, he wanted to make love to her right here. He wanted to make love to her right there. She took his hand and pressed it between the legs of her jeans. He grabbed her and looked at her with utter amazement. Overnight, she had turned him into someone he didn't even know. He was a stranger to himself as much as he was to her. "You must be a witch," he whispered, and he looked up at her, and she shook her head. "No, I am just yours." "You own me now, Tate," she said. It so simply that it would have touched him if the words weren't so odd. Suddenly, everything around him was new. "I don't want to own anyone," he said honestly, trying to keep a grip on sanity before he lost it again with her. "I just want to be with you again." He felt like a kid with her until he entered her and turned into a man he had never even dreamed he could be. This was a part of life that went way beyond the ordinary experiences he had had till then. He had broken up with a girlfriend 6 months before because he didn't want to get serious with her. Now this was a whole new world with a woman who was much more experienced than he. It was a heady feeling as she leaned over and gently rubbed the bug in his jeans and pulled him to his feet. He stood with his arms around her, clinging to her like a child lost in a storm. "I love you, Ted." She said it so fiercely that it unnerved him, and he was almost beginning to wonder if this was what love was. Maybe she really knew. "Don't say that. You don't know me yet. Let's get to know each other and find out what this is." He tried to reason with her, but nothing that was happening made sense. "This is love," she whispered, and his ear. "This is love," she whispered in his ear, and he was willing to believe her if it would get him to her bed again. "Let's go home," she said, as they walked out of the room. "What about your kids?" He was worried about them. He didn't want them to become aware of what he was doing with their mother, and it unnerved him knowing they were there. He had forgotten it eventually the night before, but he didn't want to do that again. It didn't seem right to him. "They are with their dad tonight," Patty said with a girlish grin, and Ted looked at her and smiled. "He picked them up at school. They will be with him for 2 days." It was good news to both of them, and she and Ted walked home to her place at an ever-quickening pace and raced up the stairs to her apartment. He was already slamming her against the door as she unlocked it, then kicked it closed, and they both flew into the living room and fell on each other on the couch. The night they spent together was even wilder than the one before, and the next day neither of them went to school. They both called in sick and made love night and day. Patty commented that you had to be Ted's age to make love as often as that, but she was there with him every time. As their bodies with as their bodies wreathed and joined and blended together. Neither of them thought or cared about their age. All Ted wanted now was her.